Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Scorpio collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you got for Scorpio gang? In mid-April. It's still Aries season at the time of this filming. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? Yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio gang in mid-April. What's the vibe? What's the energy? What do you got for us? Let's get this card out nice and quick. Cool. Hey, all right. So I think this is actually a really good energy for water signs. So we got this little etheric, dreamy type escape going on right here. And I think it's good. There's a lot of beautiful energy attached to it. There's just something we need to watch about the overthinking when this card is here. But usually that's pretty good. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lady. It looks like she's in a fetal position and doing like some sort of meditation. We got like the etheric background. We got a clock that has like numbers flying here, there, and everywhere. So to me, that card feels like a dream. Now, that could be great for Scorpio in this time. Maybe it's just creative thinking. I've been seeing this for a lot of different signs more recently, but it's extra good for any water sign or any water sign situation because it's like I'm in my element here. So it's creative, it's expressive, the energy's flowing. That's a good thing. So whether it's creative problem solving, like I said, or any sort of creative outlet, it's really great. But this does also point towards internal intensity, right? So like you may be a little bit head in the clouds when this card is here, like maybe in La La Land a little more. Maybe there's certain things that you're in your head about when this card is here. Nothing wrong with that. Now, there could be literal things about sleep, rest, and dreams. So if you haven't been getting the proper rest and relaxation, maybe Spirit wants you to. You might be having really interesting dreams that could be significant, especially if they're very vivid. So that's something to keep in mind. I love the spiritual tone here as well. So now is a great time for any spiritual endeavor. But yeah, I would just watch the overthinking or over fantasizing. So we're just going to let her chill right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Scorpio gang. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So last week, the reading was one of those rare all sunshine and rainbows types of readings, which, again, Scorpio energy usually keeps it very real. So even in our good readings, I see little things to watch out for. It was overwhelmingly positive last week. And the reading was titled A Massive Win. So I always say wins come in all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's work related, personal relationships, maybe just had some really good days. So if you haven't had a recent win, there could still be one on its way to you. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Scorpio gang. What do we got? Okay. Hey, we've got our good friend here, the King of Cups, a.k.a. Kyle of Cups himself without a beard. He's got his little goblet chilling in the throne. He's having a grand old time. Are we really picking up where we left off? Potentially. That is a big Scorpio power card. Let's get a couple more. What do we got here for Scorpio gang? Please. Cool. 3 Cups. I like it. I like it. All right. Again, I'm going to try to stay even-keeled here. I'm not going to go too overly optimistic, right? Like even good cards have another side to it. But I'm having a hard time being pessimistic about what we're seeing here. Okay, so very, very much in the comfort zone, Scorpio, with the Page of Cups right here on the back end. And we do have a little watching going on with this Two of Wands. We're going to want to look into that further. So we have an interesting little spread. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always like to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading and tells us how the energy is going to be flowing. And we don't have much variety this week. Now, I always say, like, if there's too much of one element, the energy can get lopsided, and that is very true. But in the main part of our spread, at the very least, it is water, water everywhere, right? We have a little bit of fire right here on the back end. Now, the thing that's different, since this is a Scorpio reading, water energy is your comfort zone, it's your power element. That's why I was like, this energy feels very comfy. Even going back to this very first card, remember I was saying it's like very imaginative, very watery, dreamy type of energy. That's all over the place here for this week's Scorpio energy, which I think can be good. But what do we think of when it comes to the water element? It represents emotions. It represents partnerships, the people around us. It could represent things or situations that we're emotionally invested in. It could be the creativity, the thinking outside of the box, the expression, the nurturing, loving, caring. There's a beautiful soft side to all this emotional depth. But the downside to too much water, big feelings, right? Like there could be overwhelming emotion. There could be some heaviness, right? Water can suck us under sometimes. So that's just something we need to watch out for. But Scorpio gang's not the type to shy away from emotional depth. That's why I'm not like super concerned. Over here for our bonus, we do have fire. That's the realm of action. So whether it's the actions we take, the actions other people take, the actions we want to take, I think of energy levels, health, vitality, passion, drive, desire. The only downside to fire is that it can be explosive and unpredictable. So it's like, we do have this on the end, but we are dominated with water and people. So again, if you're not a very people person, this energy might be a little uncomfortable. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with our first and not our last Scorpio power card. We got our good pal here, Mr. King of Cups, aka Kyle of Cups himself without a beard, chilling out. Now, as I always mention, I could be a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, any water sign, not gender specific. And what I always say about kings is they represent control of their respective suit. So when I see the King of Cups, I'm trying to keep my emotions in check. I'm even keeled. I'm grounded. Even if there are big feelings, because that's another thing with the King of Cups, it can represent big emotions like tons of love or just feeling something super, super intensely. That might be the only drawback we're picking up here this week, is that there could just be very, very hyper intense emotions happening. But King of Cups can handle it. That's the thing. I'm not very concerned because usually his energy is great. Now, the King of Cups can also be very creative, very lighthearted. Look, he has his little beverage there. He's throwing a couple back. He's hanging loose, so to speak. So I think the King of Cups is great. Now, what might be the downside? Because every card has a downside. Sometimes this King of Cups can lose control of those emotions and flip up in reverse. Sometimes if he's having fun, he could have a little too much fun. So it's something we want to keep an eye on. Or again, it could just be those big feelings, right? Because big feelings can be good, but big feelings can also be a little too overwhelming. So there might be something here we need to keep an eye on. I'm not going to stress about it because I feel overall it's okay. Moving into our next card, as we get the king settled right back where he was, we got the Three of Cups, and you see that. Those people, they're raising a toast, they're celebrating, they're having a good time. So you see this undertone we're picking up of enjoyment, of having a good time, letting loose. So maybe you need to get a little vacay on, right? Maybe you need to go on a little trip or just take some time to unwind. That's very possible for some Scorpios. But when I see this, the Three of Cups, first thing I always think of is happiness, joyousness, merriment. These people are raising a toast for a reason. They're celebrating a win or a victory. So it is kind of like we're picking up some themes that we did last week, which is a good thing. Now, the Three of Cups can also represent group dynamics, right? All threes do. Like three's a party, you get the point. So whether it's like social, whether it's work and friends, whether it's family, you name it. There's like multiple people, especially with the court cards as well. And I've been seeing that for the other water signs too. It's like people, people, people all over the place. The only downside to the Three of Cups, again, it could overdo it. So it's either a funky group dynamic in its rough form, or it's an energy that has a little too much fun. So there's something here that either about temptation or limits. Now, moving to the back end, we have the Page of Cups. Very similar vibration to the King, right? Except this one is just not as mature. Again, so it's a Scorpio power card. Could be another water sign, could be a totally different person, but it's fresh, it's youthful, it's vibrant. And I say all pages are students and messengers, specifically the Page of Cups, where it has something it wants to say and it gets it off its chest. So could this be a talk or a conversation of some sort? Absolutely, when this page shows up. Um, I'm getting this odd message, and I'm trying to not get too intuitive yet. You know how sometimes people send another person to talk to them, like a messenger, where it's like, oh, well, I don't want to talk to that person, but I'm going to ask so and so to talk to that person for me. That's kind of how this looks, where it's like someone slips you a note or someone is like an intermediary. That's so specific. Only take it if it hits. Then right here on the back end, we have the Two of Wands. I'll just simplify this bare bones. It's a card of strategy and planning. So we're looking ahead. We're strategizing our next moves. So we got a lot going on here. I think most of it is in the Scorpio comfort zone, but I want to dive deeper on all of it, my friends. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here for Scorpio gang. What do we got? What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the King of Cups. Let's see what he has. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give the Scorpio gang, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, King of Cups. What do you got for us, my friend? What do you got for us today? Thank you. I mean, this energy, I don't want to say it doesn't want to be bothered. Again, I'm not trying to upset anyone, but like when I see the Five of Swords, it's like, I'm just trying to relax. Like, I don't want any problems. Like, it's an energy that's, I don't want to say it's trying to stay in its own lane, but it kind of is. So the Five of Swords can sometimes be a little confrontational, right? Like the Five of Swords, when we look at this card in the upright, it could be aggressive. Yes, very determined, but it could be pushy, and it just keeps moving things forward, moving things forward. When I see it in reverse, especially under the King of Cups, it's like, can you just chill out? Can you just let me relax here for a minute? So for some Scorpios, especially if you're in like lone wolf mode, when I see like the King of Cups with the Five of Swords in reverse, it's like, I don't want anyone else's problems affecting me, which I hate saying it like that. But like this is an energy that it's in its own lane. It doesn't want to be bothered. It's doing what it wants to do, and that's it. Um, which can be a great thing, right? Like this energy is kind of minding its own business. Okay, that's the best way for me to put it. Now, if there is somebody stirring up some trouble, like this King of Cups, Five of Swords in reverse can act as someone that sort of like settles things down or tries to bring peace or calm to the situation if this energy wants to get involved. But at the same time, it's like I just want to chill. Like I just want peace and quiet. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's you or somebody else. So if there are any situations or problems going on, this energy, I don't want to say it's completely over it. It just doesn't want problems. It doesn't want tension. It doesn't want problems. Let's keep moving. Let's see what's up with the Three of Cups. That was hyper specific. And listen, I tell you guys every week, I read for a ton of Scorpios personally. Um, this kind of fits, right, with a lot of what I'm familiar with our Scorpio placements. But let's keep going on that Three of Cups, because now this is where it might get a little dicey. So why is that Three of Cups here for Scorpio gang? How's that? Okay. Yeah. So we have the King of Wands in reverse underneath this Three of Cups, where someone like they might just take it a step too far, or this could be like a miscommunication. Like this energy, it's like, why'd you have to do that? Why'd you have to go and start that problem? Like, why couldn't you just shut up? I hate saying that, Scorpio, but listen, you know me, when in our Scorpio readings, I'm gonna like extra unfiltered with what comes through, and that's how it feels. The King of Wands in reverse underneath the Three of Cups could be someone that is either being a blabbermouth, like spewing secrets, or just yap 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 yap, like talking, or it just pushes something a little too far. So could there be a bit of a problem arising potentially, or a situation that you should take seriously? Yes, but then it's like everyone's having a good time. Why is this energy starting mess? That's another thing. So like I'm also getting this energy of like a problem starter as well. So it's like someone gossiping. I got a problem starter, someone stirring the pot here. Then I also have really great energy too. So this week's reading is so mixed, my friends, because there is beautiful, happy, chill types of energy, but then I get someone stirring the pot or talking too much or saying things that they shouldn't be saying. So just watch out for that, especially with the King of Wands in reverse. This energy could be very unpredictable. So there might be a very specific individual that Spirit's trying to say, hey, watch out for this one or beware of that one, Scorpio. Because it's like the stuff that comes out of their mouth. It's like we could just be having a good time. Why'd you have to say it like that? Couldn't you have said it nicely? Or why did you have to say that? Why'd you have to tell that? Like I got a very similar thing in the Cancer reading. I think it was like even last week, where it's like someone gets a piece of information and starts telling everybody else as well. And that's a big no-no for if you're connected to a Scorpio, right? Scorpios enjoy their privacy. So if you're cross-watching, keep that in mind. But let's keep going. We're going to go in on the Page of Cups. That's a lot. That's a lot. But there's also great energy here, too. There is. So let's go in on the Page of Cups. Where's that Page of Cups here? And now it's like, now I have to solve it. Now I got to solve it. Like, that wasn't my problem. Now it's my problem. Why is it my problem now? We have the Chariot in reverse underneath the Page of Cups. Now, the Chariot, I can also say this. With this energy in the front, this energy in the back, there is this energy of problem solving. So if you have been going through some miscommunication situations or problems with anybody, this energy is good for solving it, fixing it, and making it work. But at the same time, I also get recruited to help solve someone else's thing or something that like shouldn't have even become a problem or a thing. It's like, but now I have to deal with it. I know this is getting hyper specific, but I would just be cautious. If you're in like your own lane, your own mode, and your solitary Scorpio mode right now, then most of this shouldn't affect you. I feel like for the most part, the energy moves forward, but it's like the more people, the more complex it gets. So the Chariot, that's big Cancer energy. Usually, again, it's action, it's moving forward, it's zipping around here, there, and everywhere. When it's in reverse, it's like stopped. It's like you wanted my attention, now you got it. It's like now I have to stop this car to fix this problem. Like I don't know why I said stop this car, but yeah, the Page of Cups with the Chariot in reverse. It's like we're gonna stop here until I address this now. So watch out for that, especially if it's somebody like stirring stuff up. Just watch out for getting drawn into other people's stuff. So this is a very interesting reading this week, Scorpio, because there is a lot of great stuff, but it's like this energy in the center. All right, let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. Hyper specific this week, my friends, but if you kindly look in the box position, number one, we got the King of Cups chilling with the Five of Swords in reverse. That energy just wants to relax and have a good time. That energy is just like in its own lane, doesn't want to argue, doesn't want to fight. It's just like, I just want some peace here. At least that's the energy it's portraying. Moving to the middle, we have the Three of Cups with the King of Wands in reverse, and this to me feels like somebody with loose lips, someone that either said something the wrong way, told a piece of information that they probably shouldn't have let out. Like it's just someone very loose with their lips. So there is a person that Spirit's like, yeah, watch out for this one because it could be someone that stirs the pot purposely too, because I am getting this little gossipy energy as well. Moving to the back end, we have the Page of Cups with the Chariot in reverse, big problem solving. So unless like if there is a big problem on your plate, hey, there's great supportive energy to solve this problem. If it's something that somebody creates and brings you into, like, yeah, the problem gets solved, but here on the back end, it's like, but did I need to be involved? Like, do I have to be involved? I don't know. So it's very peculiar, but there is great stuff here too. So it's not all downhill, my friends. So just please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Scorpio gang. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Scorpio gang? Thank you. Cool. All right. So we got the Ten of Cups. This is usually a very, very positive shadow card. It's a card of wish fulfillment. Now, I'm not just going to lean on that. I'm going to give you the shadow side of it as well, because it does fit a lot of the themes that we saw within the reading itself. But just know, Ten of Cups in the shadows fits our theme, where there's good potential wins and victories for a lot of the Scorpios in this time. So I guess it's about your perspective and what you got going on. Ten of Cups, lovely. Chef's kiss. Now, the downside to this card, since there are 10 full cups, it does have that emotional weight to it. So just know someone's in their big feelings when this card shows up. Um, and it can also represent excess, like where someone like overdoes something or oversteps themselves. So like just like with the King of Cups, that can overdo it. The Three of Cups can overdo it. The Ten of Cups can also overdo it. So there's this energy here to watch out for excess or excessive behaviors or just someone overstepping, or big feelings, right? But I think it can also be very great for a lot of you. So claim the good, my friends. But that's what I got for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.